loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cryptcast. I'm Mike.
What up, Crypt Crawlers? I'm Brian.
And we are coming to you from inside the Comic Crypt in Eatontown, New Jersey. And we are reviewing some reviews today.
Rerees.
We are going to be going through, not crazy, but everything we read for the past year of the podcast.
How many graphic novels have we read?
We have read 22 graphic novels for the year because tomorrow is actually the 1-year anniversary of our Zero episode coming out. So
Neat.
Yeah, we've been doing this a whole year.
I'll tell you, if there's a shining light to doing the podcast, it is making me read.
Right? Absolutely,
read.
It is a positive. Other than like back end work for having to like edit and stuff, this is absolutely a net positive. I'm reading more books.
Yeah, instead of that graphic novel pile just stacking up at home, it's
right.
like I'm actually getting through that.
Well,
I have accountability.
It's also like nice to reread older stuff that I haven't read in so long,
and sometimes not so nice.
And sometimes not so nice. So what we're gonna do? We're going to give you our top threes, our bottom threes, some honorable mentions. And then some stuff that has come out over this past year that we look forward to reading in trade later for reviews.
Should we run down the list, first, just to...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's a lot. I think we just talk about what we need to talk about. And as things come up, we can talk about them. Okay. So what I would like to do is, as we bring things up, just be like, hey, we liked it for this reason, that reason, or we didn't like it for this reason, that reason kind of thing. Just, off the top of the head, just to...
Okay.
So we're not just listing stuff for 4 minutes and then stopping. So you think we should start with the top, the bottom?
I don't know. How do you like the good news first or the bad news first?
I don't know. I don't like news.
Oh, well, I mean, it's all bad lately.
Yeah. Should we do back and forth?
Sure. We'll keep
top,
it balanced.
Top number 3.
I like balance.
Bottom number 3, like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do that. So we'll start with the top then. You go first. What is your number 3 favorite thing we read?
My number 3 favorite thing was Volume 1 of the Transformers Energon universe.
Okay.
I'm still actively reading it. Mm-hmm. New issue comes out tomorrow. I already read it.
Sure.
It's so good.
I need to still Volume 3. The trade comes out tomorrow too.
Oh.
So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Volume 2 and 3 and I'm going to just rip through it.
I mean, I'm an 80s kid, I was born in 78. I grew up with Transformers. Mm-hmm. I have Soundwave tattooed on my arm. Mm-hmm. I have a whole...
Extreme.
I have an extreme love for Transformers. I wasn't huge into the toy line as a kid.
Very breakable.
Yeah, they broke easy. My mom honestly was not about it. She was just like, you break them, yeah. I'll buy you 6 G.I. Joe guys for the price of one Transformer, and you're not going to break them. But I'll tell you, the characters being written well and in character, and the who's the artist? The Do a Power Bomb guy and Murder Falcon.
So Daniel Warren Johnson wrote and drew the first 6, I think.
Yeah.
But he's writing the whole thing. But Jorge Corona comes in later.
It's just super dynamic,
and he has the same very similar style.
The fight scene's super dynamic. The fact that they're doing actual wrestling, you're like, oh my god, he just German suplex.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's super dynamic. It's not just punch, kick. It is very much a super exciting book.
I will say, during the course of us working together, and the laboring task of pricing toys and putting parts together, you've expressed a hate for my era of toys, which I understand.
Transformers specifically, because I'm sure I've said it before, I will say it again, there always comes a point when you're transforming a G1 Transformer where you're like, I'm going to break it, but it literally is just, it needs to snap past a certain point. And I hate transforming them, but you have to make sure they work. And they're all there.
I was quite literally transforming an Astro Train figure yesterday, and the cone of the shuttle, I was trying to put it in space shuttle mode, and the cone hit a point where it was like, if I push it any forward, you're broken.
Exactly.
You are so broken.
But no, you're supposed to push it past that point. You're supposed to.
Power through, push it,
it just feels really bad.
Yep, it just felt awful.
You have to force, 30-plus-year-old plastic forward Come on,
Yep.
all little tabs and weird shit. Of course they're gonna break.
And while I love the story and I love the art and Soundwave is kick ass and being written real well, the highlight of reading the graphic novel over and reviewing it with you was your appreciation for it, like seeing you like it that much.
Yeah, I very much liked it.
Yeah.
I a tangential kind of relation to Transformers, because the first thing I saw of Transformers was the movie on cassette when I was a young boy.
Yeah.
And outside of that, like, I had Transformers toys, and my Transformers, quote unquote, was Beast Wars. And it's not necessarily a great representation of what that is. But I liked it because I liked animals, and robots are cool too. You know what I would do? So Transformers stuff that I was coming out around my time, it was very easy to take them apart. So I would mix and match my Transformers. I would rip off arms. I would rip off because they all had the ball joints.
You had the ball joints, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that started with Beast Wars, right. So you could take gorilla arms off and put them on.
But even vehicles, because I had because Transformers are cool, so I had vehicles, I had animals, and I would just mix and match cool robots.
That's cool.
Well, I could never transform them back to what they were supposed to be.
Right.
And then guess who didn't
still,
remember
your
who
bat
went
had
to
jet
where?
wings or
Yeah,
something,
shit like that. Yeah. It was fun ruining my toys. But I really liked Transformers. It was for someone who isn't connected to it in the way you are. It laid everything out in a way where, like, wow, I really like this. They took the time to humanize the Transformers. They weren't just like giant space robots who were, fighting each other for whatever. You have that really poignant scene with Optimus when he walks out into the field for the first time and he steps on the deer. He's like, oh no, I'm so big and hard and like gross.
Pause.
I'm a big metallic robot thing, and everything on this planet's so soft and delicate.
Right.
He's holding that dead deer in his hands, and he realizes what's at stake here. There's a beautiful moment in there.
Yeah.
And like you said, the action is like crazy good.
And it has that ability to pull you out of like the fantasy and to have a real, even though it's a giant robot holding a deer, like you could empathize with the moment.
Yeah. Lots of, just story wise, very well done, and then like the comic relief in there too with some Thundercracker. Yeah, Thundercracker was lots of fun. Like if I had to pick a Transformer who's my favorite, I think Thundercracker's my favorite just from reading that.
Oh yeah, I think Skywarp was the one that was a little bloodthirsty. Thundercracker's the more empathetic one.
Whichever one was getting drunk with the straw in the with the Energon. That was the one. It was the one. He was the one that got torn apart.
Skywarp.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because he can teleport. Yeah, I like that. I would say Skywarp was my favorite just based on that.
Skywarp's my second favorite. He's my favorite out of the Jets.
Okay.
Yeah. It carries through. Like the feel of the book carries through. Everything right up to this issue still amazing, and there's a depth of emotion that like I did not see, or maybe has not been represented well in the past. But like the relationship when like Megatron's back now in the series, and just like his concern for Soundwave, like when he shows up, Soundwave and Starscream are fighting, and he like helps lift Soundwave up, and it's like this is a different Megatron.
It was like Soundwave, like a true believer.
Yeah. Soundwave
there
is like the loyalist second in command.
Yeah, you take care of the ones who take care of you, right?
Yeah, and it was just like for my favorite guy to get that treatment, it was like, oh look, like like I don't think he's ever so much as said thank you in the past. Like look at him.
But it's like it's you make these giant robot people human. Quote unquote, like as far as personality goes, you get more invested.
And I want to say there's a little more of that than like previous series or stuff.
I have really no thing, but like for my limited contact, like that's what I would say. All right,
you're number 3. You're number 3, right?
My number 3?
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Fantastic book.
So good.
I'm so mad that it's not like in continuity Amazing Spider-Man. We can't give Peter Parker kids. We can't let Peter Parker be married. Can't you?
Absolutely.
Can't you?
And for an intro book where it's like we're doing the origin again, it was so different. We weren't retreading any ground. They got all the characters so spot on. Pete was Pete, MJ was MJ, Harry was Harry. Like, everyone was who they're so fucking supposed to be.
They got characters who didn't exist to who they're supposed to be. Those kids are great. I love those kids. I want Pete and MJ to have those kids.
Uncle Ben and Jonah. Oh my god, I would take a book.
I would trade Uncle Ben for Aunt May in a heartbeat.
Yes.
I would push Aunt May in front of a bus to have that Uncle Ben.
Give me a 6-issue miniseries called The News, and just have the two old men being two old men reporters.
The camaraderie between the two of them is fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jonah, like there's such a good balance in Jonah's character being the overbearing windbag that he is. Like, but he still has that.
Yeah.
He still has
Yes.
that. But he's a good person. He's not like this cartoon character bad guy boss like he is in the normal 616.
Right. Yeah, he gets to be a person.
Yeah.
And actually
Yeah.
actually getting to see Uncle Ben also be a person, not just a plot device for
Right.
like the first time.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimate.
I wish.
Fantastic.
I wish it was
Friendly
amazing.
neighborhood.
Uncanny. It's uncanny.
But yeah, it's again the art beautiful in that too. Like such a good start for an awesome series in a universe that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what keeps it off of my top 3.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I think I'm bitter. I think I'm bitter that Amazing's not as good as that is.
Look, I said it during that. I've said it several times in many other podcasts. Whatever the best story is where I'm going to go.
I'm okay with where Spider-Man is.
Currently,
the 8 deaths with the Sidorak thing was fun. It brought it back to like, fun, wacky, like 90s comic book stuff for me. It was. I'm happy that Amazing is on a mend.
It's on a better track, yeah.
It's on,
we're only 3 issues in.
Right.
But it's heading in a good direction.
Let's say, we're fixing where we were. However, Ultimate is just next level good.
Yeah. And they're not fucking around either. Like they killed Harry.
Yeah.
They shot Harry in the face.
Part of the problem,
literally.
I think part of the problem is that like you look at Amazing Spider-Man as an all ages book, and it needs to have that like fun cheekiness for all ages, as it should be, because you want kids to read Spider-Man.
Right.
And you look at Ultimate, and Ultimate, I think has that, but I think it's an adult Spider-Man. I think it's a book for people who have grown old with Spider-Man and they want that adult story.
I would say you still have some of that fun, especially with like is James? Is that the son's name?
Is it James?
I always his son. I always forget his son's name.
Yeah, I thought his son's name was Reed for the longest time, and I was wrong, and I don't know why.
It is. I think it is Reed.
Is it?
I think so.
Right? It is.
Maybe.
Well,
who knows? Anyway, his son.
I'm brain dead. I can't.
Well, his son and him teaming up because his son's wearing the suit. So you have the young the young Spider-Man experience in there as well, right? You have Spider-Man who gets to mentor his son while still learning.
But see, like there again.
But my point being, you get a little bit of that. But yes, the Ultimate Universe is definitely written for an adult audience, and all comics are, but to a point where it's not pretending that a kid can read this.
Right.
A kid's not going to read Ultimate Spider-Man.
To embellish on your point, Pete mentoring Miles. Miles was already Spider-Man doing this.
He didn't need any mentoring.
He didn't really need it.
Every once in a while when they have those advice talks, so like, hey, I came up with this problem. Like, cool.
But that's all they get. They get like their PSA moments sitting on the edge of a rooftop together.
Right.
Whereas like in Ultimate with his son, it's way more nurturing.
Yes.
And it's like, oh man, like
you actually get the sidekick vibe,
right? And you get you would hope so, being his father, but you get the vibe that he genuinely cares. And just like, well, there's still an element of danger. Like, you're still gonna get hurt. You're still, and there's responsibilities to come with it. And it's like, I would love to have seen even an ounce of that in the 616 between Pete and Miles, and be like, hey, it's not all just fun. Like, it's
they
be careful. Like,
few and far between. It happens, but it's few and far between. Yeah.
I know, but you build these families, and there seems to be no genuine interaction between them as a family.
Well, you also don't want to have it seem like Pete's pandering to Miles because Miles going to hand. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to babyify Miles and be like, you're not good enough. I have to tell you what you got to do.
Right, you don't want them talking down to, but that's what I'm saying. It needs to be written with that tact. It needs to be written with that same kind of gravitas where he's not talking down to his kid. He's not demeaning his kid.
Yeah,
he's genuinely concerned. It would be cool if Pete invited Miles over to Aunt May's for dinner. Like, if there was somewhat of out of costume, your family.
But that's what Spectacular Spider-Man's for, is the little team-up book there. You get that. They're going to go get coffee, once a month or whatever.
But again, like, they're teaming up. And I like Spectacular because it's more that weekly, like, we're gonna fight a bad guy kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But I like to see the more out of costume interaction where it's like, hey, let me visit your folks. Like, more personal.
So, yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, 3 of the top 3. And then we're going to go down to the bad boys, the not so good. I can't wait. Go ahead. What's your bottom number 3?
No. We got to save the bottom for last. We got to do.
I'm saying, like, what's the least worst of the 3 worst?
Yeah, Avengers Twilight.
Really?
I hated it.
Really?
I hated it.
I liked it. I liked it.
That artwork was atrocious. I don't give a shit about the Avengers as it is, let alone Avengers in the future as old people. I could give a fuck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was painful.
I dug it. I liked the whole vibe of, like, Cap having to come back, him, like, wanting to, like, it's like he have to do it.
I liked the very beginning, and then it just didn't, like, pick up any kind of pace for me. Like, him as an old man and, like, seeing him be out, like, just outdated in the futuristic kind of world. It didn't.
He was a man at a time again.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Was it all bad? No. It was nice to see him with a new love interest. Like, he got over the banging the Carter lineage. This terrible idea.
Me, I only fuck Carter girls.
Yeah, Peggy, Sharon, I don't know. What's your granddaughter's name? No, man, no. Stop it. It's ants, right? Yeah, it's ants.
Yeah. No, I liked it, like, thematically, like, story-wise. It was, anti-authoritarian, anti-fat. Like, it was taking stuff that's like, oh, this is relevant, and shoving it into a book. But I dug it. And Luke Cage had some badass moments.
Come on. If we're a Luke Cage story.
Kick some Nazi ass.
The way they drew the character that was taking care of Stark's son. Mm-hmm. What's the actor from the Gemstones? The Uncle Billy, whatever.
Yeah.
Uncle Baby Bobby Bill, whatever that actor's name is.
Walton Goggins.
Goggins, right. Mm-hmm. I can't not see him as that guy.
I got a little bit of, like, no, because, what was I thinking? No, because Cap looked like Robert Redford.
Yeah, Cap looked like Robert Redford.
And there was something else with the Jarvis guy, I forget, but.
If it were like an hour TV show and Goggins played that guy, I'd be full on board 100%. But I did not. Yeah, Tony Stark kid being just a little.
He was a
shit.
gigantic douche. He was like the biggest douche.
Yeah, and surprise, mom's not dead. Just what out? Just stop it.
It hit all those comic book tropes though. It's like, and then we got the last minute save, and like we had to change the heart. Like it hit all the comic notes, man. I dug it.
I mean, I'm glad you dug it.
It's not in my top 3, but I dug it.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, just because I don't enjoy something doesn't mean I want you to not enjoy it too.
I don't expect you to have those.
I'm glad it was things. A win for you.
Yeah. So my bottom pick here is House of M.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Garbage.
I mean, we discovered again, which I will say consistent with many of the event books, is when you're not reading the universe along in tandem,
right? Yeah.
It loses.
When you're robbed of the broader context, it hurts.
Right. Yeah.
But again, standing alone, that shit could have been an issue, and man, like it just none of it did anything for me. It was so disappointing, especially because I had fond memories of it. Maybe I made them up.
I don't think you made them up.
No, I don't think I made them up.
I think either. At the time it was very good, and you were reading all of it and getting the full impact.
Sure.
And I'll tell you what, the artwork's a fuck ton better than Twilight.
Different types of artwork. There was some stuff
better. I'm not saying Twilight was bad.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. More traditional.
Yeah. More traditional.
Yeah. So it was just so disappointing. Just straight up disappointed in it.
I can't say I disagree.
Like there's not one thing in there that's like, oh, awesome. Like, the fights, blah, because we're off doing this stuff. The character stuff, blah, I don't care. Like, I didn't need to know what everyone's job fucking was. I didn't need to, I didn't need all that. It was just all this extra shit for no reason.
Well, again, you're talking about an event book in the big Marvel universe, and the event books in either of the big respective Marvel universe are nothing but setup. What it did was set up the fact that the mutants were an endangered species and a dying race for the next 5 to 10 years.
Look, it was trash that had a huge effect. Fine.
Yeah.
I understand the importance going forward, but Civil War as an event book did such a better job being an event book. Sure. Even though we didn't have the broader context. The story itself, wrapped in those issues, was better as a narrative than House of M could ever want to be.
I mean, you base the whole story on a bad character doing very selfish things. And, like Wanda just making herself children and people stepping in going, you can't do that. That's dangerous.
Yeah, but you could tell that story and the narrative still be good.
Sure.
Because when I read this stuff, like, my criteria is self-contained within these pages.
Sure.
Is this a good narrative? So can I recommend this to somebody in good conscience saying this is good?
Right, but how many minis, event minis are going to be good without reaching into the other titles? Most of them have great moments. Like, you bring up Civil War, and one of my favorite Civil War moments is Frank Castle killing bad guys, and that doesn't happen in Civil War.
Well, he shoots those 2 guys. He, Jack-o'-lantern and whoever else the fuck was in that tunnel. He was like,
yeah.
I did it for you, Cap.
Right.
I'm like you. I love you.
Right. But the part where Cap beats the shit out of Frank and he's like, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?" Like that.
That happened in Civil War.
Right, but
it was embellished upon in a mini, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But he kills 2 other guys because those are the first 2 he kills in the tunnel, and then there's 2 informants that show up at a meeting and they walk through the door and Frank wastes them and Cap's like, "What the hell?" He's like, "I thought we went through this," and he's like, "We did. I kill bad guys."
Right.
Yeah. That's when he kicks him off the team.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, yes, the broader stuff helps.
Yeah.
But as an event, you need to be able to stand on your own too.
Sure.
Like you can't have everything else do all the work for you. And
Not
be
everything can be Secret Wars.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. So House of Men is the least egregious of my bottom 3.
I would say that's fair.
Let's go to second best.
Second best, Nightclub.
Okay, that's fair. I really like Nightclub. Yeah, it was a very good story.
And we just got done with a volume 2. Very good.
Yep. Same problem.
Yeah.
My one problem with the book is the lackluster wrap up.
Yeah.
Both volumes.
It's like,
We're just like, I love all the lore. I love all the stuff. Just like you whiffed on the end fight.
Part of the problem may be that it comes out in minis and isn't an ongoing. It's like, I gotta wrap it up in 6.
I think a story like that benefits from being in minis. I don't think something like that can sustain an ongoing.
I like the pacing in between as minis personally because I feel like they take some substantial ass whoopings in the last issues.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you need to recover.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down for a while.
Yeah, see you in 3 months or 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I just wish Millar would tack an extra issue on and actually have an end fight.
Yeah.
Because every end fight is just kind of we won because of a thing happening.
Yeah, and there wasn't a brawl. It was hey, let's blow up the dam, wash them all away, easy fix.
Right, but in the first one, they blow up the house, and you have that old lady who's this very old super vampire where she's eating whales and shit. There was no payoff for that, and that was super disappointing. But outside of that, I love the characters. I love the vampire stuff. I love they have all the vampire bullshit run in there, the sunlight, and I can turn into bats, and you can't go over running water. All that stuff is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very good book.
But happy it's not it's not done because even volume 2 ended with there's more.
Successful enough where hopefully it keeps going for a while.
Yeah.
My second best pick is Transformers. We already talked about it.
All right, we already talked about it. Okay.
So we're going to go to second to worst.
Second worst, Creepshow.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, I get it. Like, it's an anthology, so you're gambling with every mini story.
Without you spurring it on in conversation, I cannot remember a single story.
And that's fair, because we had to read, what was it, 2 per issue? So we read, like, 12 stories?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I take it back. I remember the Trick or Treater episode. Now that I'm like sitting here thinking about it,
that was the first.
That was the first one.
Yeah, so it's the one that made the biggest. Yeah, and that was one of the better ones too. Like it was a really strong start. Yeah, I get it. Any anthology is going to have that issue.
Yeah.
That said, I still like it. I think it's worth the read. I read every volume of Creepshow, and everything is the same problem. It's like, what's your percentage to win lose on those stories?
Ultimately, what made it number 2? Because I fought myself about making it number 2 because I remember enjoying it while I read it, and I was like, well, if you enjoyed it, why can't you fucking remember any of it? And that's why it's there, because I don't remember any of it.
It's popcorn, though.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, it is meant to be consumed, enjoyed, and thrown away and never remembered. You're not going to go, hey, you have to go read this awesome little mini story, guys. It doesn't work like that.
That's, for me, that's what TV and movies are for. If I can't remember a TV episode or a movie, I don't give a shit. I want to remember my comics. I want to, like, if I like it, like, I want to remember it.
I get
like,
it.
I could sit here and talk to you about fucking Civil War and House of M that I read, even though, like, they're not good. I remember liking them at the time. You know, like, they stick with me. They, you know.
So, as far as horror anthology goes, I read Creepshow, I read Ice Cream Man, I read Hello Darkness, because there's potential for really cool stuff in there. How many of those can I recount to you? 10% maybe?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of mini stories. You're not going to retain them because you don't have that longer narrative to give it time to, like, get into your brain so you can fucking remember. You get, like, a splash page that might stick with you kind of thing.
There's a vampire series coming out I saw advertised, and it said it's like, out of the pages from Epitaph of the Abyss. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I might actually like this. It looks interesting, but I never would have read Epitaph of the Abyss.
Yeah, no. I mean, that was one of the ones that did not grab me, so I let that fall by the wayside. So, I mean, for all I know, there could be awesome stuff in there.
Right,
I just haven't.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's a gamble every time with anthologies. So, yeah, I understand it being in the bottom. Yeah. My second to worst is The Pro.
Okay.
Yeah. That was not that was not great.
And isn't it crazy that, like, 10 years ago, it was the funniest fucking thing you ever could have read?
Do you know what's crazy? I recently saw a thing. They're republishing Battle Pope.
You should probably read that.
Yeah. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
But it's of the same time, same kind of, like, humor, but it's the Pope and Jesus.
Is
instead
it the
of a
same
hooker.
kind of
Yes.
humor? Is it that raunchy?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I didn't read a lot of Battle Pope.
Because Battle Pope is, you have Jesus is like a naive hippie.
Yeah.
And the Pope
is the Punisher.
He's a cigar
chomping, gun toting.
Yes, but he's also like really crude, really gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that gross, because, like, the Pro is like...
I mean, it's not like literally pissing on like a United Nations guy's face.
Right.
Gross.
Right.
But it's pretty fucking close if I remember properly.
Right.
So
you know the thing for me, even with the Pro, is like, yeah, it's gross, like, you know, pissing on people, and, like, you know, it's really raunchy and shit like that, but it's so fucking racist.
Yeah, with the Green Lantern guy.
Yeah, the way they treat the Green Lantern guy is just insane to me.
Well, it's a product of its time, right? Like, it's like that shit was okay in a way that, like, it's like, now this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was entirely uncomfortable reading it. It was entirely uncomfortable having to talk about it.
Honestly, I don't want to sound like I got my head up my ass and smell my own farts kind of thing, but, like, I'm glad I grew as a person, and now I feel that way about it.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I have you know, again, with my age, like, I have a mixed bag on that, because, like, I loved Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and Andrew Dice Clay and all the vulgar assholes.
But there's a way that there could be longevity to that kind of things in the quality of it. This just does not hit that way.
Right.
You know? That said, I would still recommend that read to a particular type of person. I'm not going to do it to everybody. And so, like, hey, I know you a little bit now. You're going to enjoy this. It's kind of like Money Shot. Like I said, it's like, we're going to have to talk a few times.
Right.
I'm going to kind of, like, zone in on what the kind of thing you like. And I could do that. But in general, yeah, it does not hold the post in my brain that it used to.
I read Money Shot issue by issue because I went, ooh, naughty book. And then we reviewed it, and I went, it wasn't as enjoyable the second time around. Like,
I mean, that's a relatively new one. It's nowhere on my list of stuff, but, like, I liked it because it wasn't just a fuck book. It was like, oh, there's a narrative here. And
Yeah,
I care,
yeah.
And I care about people. That's cool.
Right.
But yeah, so second to worst is the Pro for me.
Hard to argue.
Mm-hmm. So we're up at our tops, our number ones.
My top worst is the Pro.
Oh, you skipped it, but okay.
What? Oh, we're supposed to do best?
Yeah. Well, that's okay. We can talk about our last worst, and we'll end with the top, tippy top.
Okay.
Okay, so we retread that ground. No shock here. My top worst is Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Because, like, while House of M I had issues with, it wasn't a trudge. I didn't hate reading it. It was just like, this is a waste of my time. Pro was just like, yay. I didn't hate reading it. Secret Wars was work for me to read.
Okay. Listen.
The most enjoyable part about Secret Wars was tearing apart Secret Wars, going like, that's stupid. What the fuck was that? That's dumb.
We discussed it briefly recently. I feel like there's a generational thing there too.
Absolutely.
Whereas like when you came into comics, like there was so much good stuff, and growing up through the 80s, when you read like superhero books, it was like, me bad, you good, we fight now. Like it was, so it was like, it was cut out of that, like Doctor Doom having like over exaggerated reactions to Captain America helping him up.
You can't help me, I'm Doom!
How dare you help? Yeah, and it's like, yes, I am bad for the sake of being bad, you are good, and it's like...
It was all that stuff, but also I felt like Jim Shooter was making it up issue to issue. It felt like there was no plan. Just like, I gotta fucking figure out what's gonna happen next issue now, I guess. Like, it was just fucking...
we gotta sell some toys.
So bad.
We gotta sell some toys of characters that weren't even in this book.
Mm-hmm. In Europe.
My biggest complaint about Secret Wars is... Cyclops is in every issue, and there's not a Cyclops figure in that series.
Well, fuck Cyclops. Who gives a shit about Cyclops?
Constrictor's not in a single goddamn issue, and there's a Constrictor figure.
Well, he's cool. He's got tentacles.
The fuck, bro? There's an Iceman figure. He wasn't in the whole series.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's cheap to make. He's just a dude.
But like, all the X-Men that were in it. There's no Colossus figure. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, because you can't have him as a figure, because he'll just be pining over Zaji the whole time.
Yes. True. And make a Zaji figure. Cat people.
So yeah, that's a rough one for me.
I think there's going to be more like that in the future too, because
we have
all the older stuff we read, because we're going to read Dark Phoenix Saga. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's going to be a very
we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
But like, you could be old, you could be wordy, just like be better. Be a better story.
It's asking a lot.
I know. Okay, so we'll do our tops, and I think we're gonna have the same top. My heart is telling me my top is the same as yours.
Sure. So we're doing tops. My top is Black Sad.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was just like a wow factor. That was just I can't believe that I stared at that book for years and just went, fucking Cat Detective.
I can't believe I didn't hear about it until that was recommended to us, because that was recommended to by James and by Jack, both within like a month.
I've literally seen that on the shelf in shops for years and just went, don't want to read Cat People. I was worried it was porn. I thought it was going to be like Omaha Cat Dancer. I'm like, look at him in his trench coat. He's going to go see Omaha Cat Dancer and like spank it under there. Nope.
But like the quality of that book was like near unmatched.
Yeah.
The story, wildly good, and the art beautiful. Every single panel.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can catch someone being lazy. Absolutely not in Black Sad.
I think it's funny that like you look at it on a cover and you go, cat guy. And then you read the whole thing and you don't like focus on the fact that they're animals at all.
No, they're
like,
people. It's just like
they're just people.
They're just animal guys. That's fucking like the depth of story, and like we're talking about short stories too. They weren't even like a full fucking thing.
Right.
And we were getting three stories. Yeah, I think it was 3.
Yep.
You got 3 stories in that book, and like just knocked it out of the park.
And like tragic, and some of them pretty vile in the topics of racism and stuff like that. But nothing made you feel bad. Like yeah, I mean there was like bad feelings and stuff like the one with the parents and the orphan girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there's
like
tragedy throughout
there's
because Black Set constantly has to lose or someone's losing. You know?
Right. There's a good balance to it though. Like
Yeah,
you don't you can actually walk away from these stories feeling like it was a great story, even though bad things happened.
Right, like a small amount of tragedy and personal sacrifice does not ruin the story; it makes it better.
Right. But I'm saying it doesn't like shit on your mood.
No,
you know,
no.
Like
well, the end of the one with the orphan a little bit.
Yeah.
That look they share at the end is like, oh,
yeah, right.
Like you both know,
he has to walk away.
It's never
yeah.
going to be okay.
Right. But at the end of the day, like you can't have the storybook ending because he's going to keep being the detective and go doing.
Right.
So what do you want him to do? Turn around and adopt that kid? It's not going to happen.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, he has to walk away at some point.
Right. You know, so like the walking away is the right thing to do. You don't get the fairy tale ending, otherwise the story ends. He has to go be a dad now. You know.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a good amount of balance that even though there is bad stuff, it doesn't leave you feeling like shit.
Yeah. No, it was beautifully balanced. Beautifully balanced. There is balance in the storytelling. There's enough action, you know, so it's in there. It's not just like a romance. There's romance in it too. It's not just focusing on romance. It never gets bogged down in that because so many stories do where it's like, all right, why are we spending time on this? I don't care. Right. But like everything you're doing is for a purpose and to great effect.
Yeah, expertly done.
Yeah.
Expertly done.
I cannot say enough good things about Black Sad, and we will be reading more Black Sad in the coming year.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. Got some honorable mentions.
Oh, did you do your worst? Well, yeah, your worst was Secret.
My worst was Secret Wars.
Yeah, and our number ones coincide. Yeah, my worst was the Pro, so we got.
Yeah, we had some overlap because because we both had Transformers. So like,
I have commentary written about like everything we read.
I don't think it's necessary to go through that. Do you have so pick a, like honorable mentions? I mean, like stuff that could be in your top 3, but they got beat out.
No.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Nothing else is like, oh, I really like that.
All right, so let me just run down the list. There are things like Killing Joke on here. Being a Batman fan and having access to graphic novels in the early 90s, things like Killing Joke and Batman Year One are forever books for me. They're forever reads for me.
Okay.
Like, you know, I'll read Killing Joke anytime you want to hand it to me. Like, you know, like
sure.
If I didn't have a laundry list of books to read, I can see me reading Killing Joke in Year One at least once a year.
Okay.
Like they're just consistent classics.
So before you run through the whole thing,
yeah.
Let me lay out my honorable mentions because I only have 5.
Okay.
Okay. So Killing Joke is on there.
Okay.
Killing Joke because it's so good. I feel good about Killing Joke. I do not feel the same way about Year One.
Okay.
If you recall, Year One, I came away from that read with a lesser opinion of the book.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I do. Again,
it just isn't. I think Killing Joke is a more timeless story versus that or Long Halloween.
I also have an interesting perspective on both of those. Those are both wonderful Jim Gordon stories.
Yes.
And
very much.
And that's my takeaway is because Batman's great. We all love Batman. Mm-hmm. But I love Jim Gordon.
All the best Batman stories are Jim Gordon stories.
He's an integral part to the lore, man.
I know.
I've said 1,000 times, like, Alfred's not just his dad.
Uh-huh.
You know? You keep in mind that, like, the man's a vigilante. He breaks the law, but he believes in justice. It's kind of backwards, you know?
Right.
And it's like, okay, Gordon's that guy that keeps him. He's like, listen, you're a vigilante, but you're a vigilante because I say so.
Right.
You're a vigilante because I allow it.
Right.
You know, I'd put a badge on your ass, but you need to do the things that my corrupt cops are going to frankly try to cover up.
We don't have bat-shaped badges. So.
Right. Yeah. There's no bat-shaped badge. So you know, Gordon is pivotal to Batman being Batman. Mm-hmm. You know, he's part of the moral compass. When Batman breaks and goes rogue, oftentimes it's Gordon that reels him in.
Yep.
You know, so in that respect, like, I can read a Batman story and have it not be a Batman story,
that is,
and completely be okay with
those
that.
Those not my issues with that at all.
Okay,
I'm just saying Year One in general just didn't hit like I wanted it to, where Killing Joke did.
Okay.
I had Avengers Twilight on my honorable mentions, and I had Nightclub. We already talked about those. The other two are Stray Dogs.
Stray Dogs, I did actually have honorable mention next to Stray Dogs. I just love that false sense of security. Like, just you look at these characters and they're like, oh, they're just sweet and innocent.
Right.
And, you know, until you really, like, catch the vibe of the book, you're just like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's just like this. It's immediate. Like, this is beautifully innocent and cartoon. Oh no, what's happening?
Yeah.
He's
not the puppy.
Yeah. So it's the building of tension and the loss of memory and like that kind of thing, like unfurling the mystery through the book. And it happens so quickly. You have the tragedy at the end of the sacrifice, right? The tragedy of the killing of the little Dalmatian, but like there's loss in there, and it feels bad. But boy, it's a good story.
And the short-term memory seems so real in the context of your pets, you know, where it's like, they forgive you for anything. Like this,
Right.
you know, like
Right.
2 minutes later, you know, you yell at them, they cower. 2 minutes
but that's
later,
the thing too
they're
with
right
the
there.
like the end of the book. This kind of like bittersweet, like she doesn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So the tragedy isn't there, but she's more confident as a dog.
Right.
But she doesn't remember her friend who she meets at the park. She just goes like, "Do I know you?" You know, like you have that loss of that like that connection, which is like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
but you're happy now.
Yeah, but I think it's like even sadder where it's like, do you lose the connection? Do you remember that I'm your human, or are you just happy that like a human is paying attention to you?
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like every time you come home from work.
Yeah. I mean, I don't equate that kind of attention thing to like reality, but like it was a good what's the word I'm looking for? Use in the book. I can't think of it, like a tool. And my last honorable mention would be Wonder Woman, the volume 1 from King's Run.
And again, like Transformers, still going strong. It's just a fantastic run,
Right?
Not just the volume.
Again, it timely kind of vibes with kind of, I know it bummed you out, but like also rolling in some of that classic, the invisible jet, the throwing the tiara, you know, like the classic Wonder Woman tropes in there.
I love that it's storytelling within storytelling. You know, it's a narration.
Layers are nice.
Yeah.
It does help. So those are my honorable mentions. Anything else you would like to talk about that we read?
You know, the deceased books were fun.
Yeah, they were fun.
You know, they were what they were. They were fun. Arp Root was very different. You know, it was fun and trippy.
Right.
I think the last few, you know, Arp Root, Rumpus Room, Fight Girls to a degree, just wacky.
Yeah, just weird, fun, kind of like aside stuff. Yeah.
To not have to dissect them or analyze them.
Right.
It's
Just
like you know, when you say popcorn. For me, that's what those were.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely in that thing where it's like, I'm going to forget the fuck what happened in 3 years, but like, yeah, I know they were fun.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's do a couple of mentions of things we look forward to reading for review in the coming year that we read this past year, like as floppies. Grommets, 100%.
Grommets is my top.
I absolutely want to reread that so bad.
I reread it now. I have I have all the issues. I
don't have the issues on hand because they're like away, but the moon is following us. I cannot wait to reread. It's very good.
I can't wait to read just by your recommendation.
As a book that is just all about like processing trauma and like how you pass that trauma on to your children, kind of thing, and like, you know, like fighting for your child kind of thing in this trippy dreamland kind of. It's great.
I've already put Bug Wars on that list.
We're 3 issues in it.
We're 3 issues in.
And I want to read it again.
Yep.
I didn't because it's so new. I'm trying to go for stuff that's like on. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell is very good. I'd like to see what you think of it because it's very serious, kind of like action adventure is not the right word, but like survival kind of deal.
Okay.
So curious what you think of that because I like it. Because it is like these two characters who are like fighting to survive, slowly like falling in love.
Weird backgrounds.
One's a cowboy and one's
Japanese woman.
One's a samurai.
Samurai, yeah.
But they both die at the same time and end up in this like weird purgatory island.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're fighting to survive there. And then I have Ain't No Grave, which was a really fun read. That's the Scotty Young Jorge Corona one. It's a western.
I actually have all those piled up in issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very good. And it's a quick read, too. Like, there's a silent issue in one of them where she's running through, like, an undead city, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Minor Arcana for me.
Okay, I did not read that one. Just because fucking Because Lemire drew it, so I can't look at it.
Yeah, Lemire drew it. I would say it is not on the most intolerable side of his stuff.
I mean, I'll suffer. I'll do it.
But the story is just about this car crash garbage person, and it's, I don't know, kind of refreshing to not read a story about good people. It's like, oh, your life sucks and you don't have it all together and you're a mess. Cool.
I mean,
Cool.
Falling in Love in the Path to Hell will do that.
Okay.
So Ain't No Grave. All bad people. Not bad people, but like
flawed.
Yeah,
flawed
but
and
that's
damaged.
bad was the wrong word. They're not bad people. They are flawed people. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Because if she was a bad person, I'd hate her. And I just you watch her dig her hole deeper. Mm-hmm. It's like you have a drinking problem and you
keep fucking
return
up
home.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you're just picking a scab.
But there's something about that where it's like, okay, but you're gonna make it, right? You're
Yes.
gonna get it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make the right decision eventually. But like,
well, that, and the thing, Lemire and indie books, like, it's still coming out. It's not over.
right.
Right.
How far in is it? Like 6, 7 issues?
6, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's probably gonna go for like a maxi then, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else you want to mention?
Off the list of things, just because it's a Superman book, and I stereotypically don't like Superman. Red Sun, I liked.
Yeah.
More than I thought I would. Mm-hmm. More than I thought I would.
Yeah, I didn't like do anything crazy, and I hated the ending, but otherwise, very good. That stupid like cyclical bullshit. Yeah, I dug it. We gotta do more Superman.
Yeah, we need to do more Big 2 stuff, because what's the ratio here? Because I'm saying there's a ton of.
I will tell you. I will tell you the breakdown. Give me 1 second.
And there's scary classics we gotta hit.
I know.
Gotta do Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Boy,
That's
oh boy,
hurt. 12 issues of pain.
So I have here, the number might be off because we have some stuff pre-recorded already, but we read 11 indies, 5 Marvel books, and 7 DC. So that's at 12. That's 23. So for this past year, 10 indies, 5 Marvel books, 7 DC.
I'm impressed that we have read more DC than Marvel.
I think it's because Marvel's big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything's big.
Yeah.
And I think we're trying to avoid the bias because we're definitely more Marvel readers.
Oh, for sure.
Than DC.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying to like consciously avoid the Marvel bias by picking other shit.
Well, I mean, when we sat down and said we were going to do this, I immediately thought, like, oh, cool. So we're just going to read, Dark Phoenix Saga, Days of Future Past, God Loves
Just roll down the timeline.
Right down the X-Men timeline. Like, cool. Can't wait to read Executioner Song again. That's where my whole shit started. Like,
so yeah, we definitely got to up the Big 2 stuff. We got to hit some more events. I do want to still do when the indies are fun because it's stuff that's out of the norm.
Well, I mean, my list of things that I want to read indie-wise is huge.
Yeah, same. But I think talking about Big 2 stuff is a better listen for people because then we can argue.
Yeah, we can fight more.
We can fight about stuff like with Secret War or like House of M. I think it ends up being a more interesting discussion than us going like, yeah, that was cool about characters we never know, we never like heard about or whatever.
I mean, that's valid because, like, I think when in the cases of like most indie stuff, we're both about trying new things,
right?
And like, whether you hate this character or you don't like that artist or you don't like that writer, we like comic books. Period.
Yeah.
I used to grow up going, God, I hate Wolverine. God, I hate Superman. I've read good Superman stories.
Yeah, everyone's got a good story.
I like comic books, period.
100%.
Hard stop. Like, I think Booster Gold is trash. I've read good Booster Gold issues. Read a Booster Gold issue, almost made me cry. Like, anybody,
It's all about the treatment.
Right, right. You know, so any hard stance or hard take on any like artistic medium is just kind of ignorant.
Right? Yeah. You can't go. That all sucks. No, absolutely not.
And I would hate to be that kind of person when it comes to like, you know, critiquing art or stories, to be the guy that's like, no, this sucks and that's that, and it can never be no, it can be different. Like, you know, and if you can't appreciate somebody else's perspective on something either,
Right?
like,
You got to try.
Yeah. Let's just be a very boring life of I'm an asshole and I'm always right.
There's lots of those people, though.
I'm sure there are, but you know, it just doesn't like really help you broaden your horizons.
People don't look for that, though.
A lot of people don't look for that, but man, like, you know,
You get comfortable and you want to stay in your lane because it's comfortable.
I understand that. You know, familiar's cool.
Jim Lee forever.
You know, Jim Lee forever. I love, and I'm that guy. You know, the X-Men #1 in 90.
Yeah.
I'm there. I love it. You know, but like, you know, things change. I would really hate to be that guy that's like, oh man, that character would never do that. And it's like, all right, when was the last time you picked up a book? 20 years ago? Mm-hmm. Guess what? That character grew. You didn't.
Yeah.
A fictional character has more growth than you do.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Crazy, right? I only listen to Metallica and AC/DC. You know, like that kind of shit.
I only eat vanilla ice cream. I can tell.
So, what's crazy is like as I've gotten older, I prefer vanilla ice cream, like a good vanilla ice cream over a chocolate every time.
All right. Well, when I was a kid, I ate trash cereals. I needed a gimmick. Lucky Charms, give me the marshmallows. Now
I was just Sugar Smacks and Pops.
Pops.
With the corn pops.
Yeah, corn pops.
Yeah.
Now I eat like Rice Krispies and Rice Chex.
I don't really eat cereal.
Give me some Raisin Bran.
I don't. You know what's crazy? I liked Raisin Bran as a child.
Sure.
I couldn't have it because it was my great grandmother's like cereal, like her cereal of choice.
Yeah, so that's the grown up cereal.
We weren't allowed to touch
have
it.
Some diabetes
because Great Graham had to have her cereal, so we couldn't have it. Yeah. So I couldn't have it. So I always like that. But yeah, like a nice bowl of Cheerios, fine.
I do. I will say in regards to like cereal and shit like that, I miss that. You know, that whole Saturday morning, like you're allowed to advertise things towards children. Like, you go through cereal aisles now, and they just fucking suck. There's nothing interesting. It's the classics. Like, you still have your Trix Rabbit.
Yeah.
You still have your Honey Smacks Frog. Yeah. All the mascots are there. But you don't have 3POs. You don't have G.I. Joe cereal. You don't have, you know, like, you don't get the gimmicky shit.
I don't go down the cereal aisle too often because I don't eat cereal, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah.
When my kid gets a little older, I'm sure I'm going to get into more of that.
You get like a bluey cereal.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they can still do marketing like that. It's just like there's rules around it.
Right. But I'm saying, you know, like you used to see toy commercials. You don't see toy commercials anymore.
You're watching the wrong channels.
I guess so.
Because I'm watching children's channels. There's toy commercials all the fucking time. All the time.
But good ones?
The rules have changed because the thing about your stuff is like because they were using cartoons to market directly to children. Mm-hmm. And they can't do that anymore. Where all your cartoons are like, buy the toys now. Now it's like, oh, this is a fun thing. Also, we have toys. And there's commercials for those. It's just different. Hyper-commercialism is good.
It is. At least it was fun.
If you say so. You thought it was fun because they told you it was.
Is that why I collect toys?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Because they tell me
you
it's
got brainwashed by Saturday morning. Yeah.
I'm not really enjoying myself.
No.
Setting up dioramas and shit. Mm-mm. It's a lie.
Yeah.
I'm just lying to myself. Oh, fuck it. I'm done reading comics. I don't really enjoy this.
No, it's just this trauma you're trying to deal with.
Articulated trauma.
Uh-huh. 16 points of articulation.
That's 16 points of trauma. Articulated trauma should be the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
Talk about how toys scarred you. 14 Transformers, I broke them all.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's going to be it for us. It'll be back to your regularly scheduled programming next time. We will do an actual review. And
is that Bitterroot?
Well, yeah, but they don't know that.
I thought we were going to say, tune in next time when we review Bitterroot.
Yeah, I guess we could tell them that now because we were supposed to say that in the next episode.
Oh, we're supposed to say it next time for general talk.
Right.
I always fuck this up.
It's okay.
Time travel's hard.
It's not that hard.
You can wind up like kissing your mom. It's hard.
I kiss my mom. I love my mom. You can't kiss your mom? What's wrong with that?
Not like that.
Oh,
I can't miss kiss my mom. She's dead.
Oh. I'm making it sad.
All right.
Bummer.
That's why I manned the shop on Mother's Day for you guys.
That's true. Thank you. Uh-huh. So, thanks for listening. Us talk about things we already talked about.
Thanks for tuning into the Riri.
Yeah. If you want to give us some stuff to read for the coming year, you could do that at the Comic Cryptcast.
Is that like the Killing Fields? The coming year?
The coming year. Guys, I promised everyone I'm going to come a whole lot more this year. Gross. That email that you can send stuff to, in complaints too, if you have any of those, thecomiccryptcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on YouTube, and you could follow the store on Instagram and Facebook. Links for those will be in the show notes. And go read any of those books we just talked about.
Peace.
We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like comics. The hardcore get it while the soft bitches vomit. I came to this earth on a radiated comet. Now the planet is in perilous danger because I'm on it. Fly super villain with the superpowers in me. Got the red issues and all my shit is minty. Body like Ben Grimm, suckers I be beating down. Look around and we be found chilling out in Eatontown. I be at the comic crypt stacking up the kryptonite. Doomsday and Superman every time I grip the mic. Dark Phoenix overloading, supernova sunspot exploding. I'm the Punisher reloading Bobby Drake when he's frozen. Storm forming ominous clouds over the ocean. Working with Professor X to master my emotion. Have you posing in the box whether you know it or not. I'll easily bag your bitch like Logan did to Scott. Mr. Sinister plots when I administer shots to clone Gene from a jeans. Then this shit'll get hot like Inferno. Burn slow, humans are ash. God loves man kills in the days of future past. Now I'm working on a science lesson. Me and Brian Stratton, a rat in a cage who can't stop buying X-Men.